pasta with sauce is on the dinner menu tonight. So I'm here looking at the grocery store, all the different varieties, and there's lots to choose from. But, you know, they all just leave something to be desired. They're either too sweet, they're too salty, or just too blah for my taste. I'll bet that with stuff I have at home in the pantry, I can make a pasta sauce that's better than these and better for me, and if I can do it, you can too. One of the cool things with a pasta sauce is there's really no wrong way to do it. Once you get a couple of basic ingredients in there, you can put in things you like or leave out things you don't to really make it your sauce. With a quick sauce like we're making today that'll be ready in about 15 minutes, we want to make sure that everything that goes in the sauce pot is already cooked. So we'll be using fresh vegetables, some herbs, some spices, things you could eat right out of the box or right out of the jar. So if you want to add meat, you want to make sure that the meat is fully browned, fully cooked before you put it in the sauce. Things like sausage, hamburger add a lot of flavor to a sauce, even pepperoni. Try it sometime, you might like it. The foundation for our sauce will be a can of tomato sauce and 2 cans of diced tomatoes. In buying these, you want to look for cans that say tomatoes only. They don't have any basil or any other ingredients added in. You want to be able to add those in yourself. I got some dried oregano, some crushed red pepper, some sliced mushrooms. I went with cremini mushrooms. They have a little smokier flavor that I like. You can go with regular white button mushrooms if that's what you have on hand. A whole clove of garlic, half an onion, a full green pepper, some sugar, which we will add just a little bit to take out some of the acidity in the sauce, and fresh basil. Again, you can use the dry stuff like the oregano if that's what you have on hand. I have the fresh, and that's what I like to use. So now that everything's chopped and ready to go in the pot, well, it is. Look. Is that better? Over on our stove top, I've got a 2.5 quart saucepan heating over medium heat. I want to add to that just a dash of olive oil, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan. Then I want to put in our onions and garlic. Now, I just want to sweat the onions and the garlic. I don't want to saute them. If you hear a lot of sizzling, turn down the heat. I really just want to let these sweat until they get tender and nice and soft for us. The onion should turn a little translucent, and I don't want the garlic to burn. Burned garlic has a very harsh taste that we want to avoid putting in our sauce. Our onions are just starting to really sweat nicely. They're starting to turn a nice translucent color. So I'm going to add a few grinds of fresh black pepper. And you can add a little pinch of salt at this point if you like. I'm trying to avoid adding a lot of salt into this recipe, so I'm not going to add any. If you like your salt, go ahead and add just a pinch, kosher salt of course, at this point. Okay, our onions are nice and translucent. It's time to add some seasoning. Now, because we're using a combination of dry and fresh herbs, we want to add them at different times. The dried herbs we want to add earlier and the fresh herbs later. If we add them reversed, say we put the fresh basil in right now, it would cook down and wilt and really be kind of nasty like overcooked spinach. If we put the dried oregano in at the very end, it wouldn't have time to absorb and you'd actually really taste the oregano. It would be too sharp, too harsh a flavor. So now early in the cooking we want to add the dried herbs, which for us is the dried oregano and the crushed red pepper. And we're going to go ahead and add our sauces now too. That's the small can of tomato sauce and the 2 cans of diced tomatoes. I'm adding these right out of the can with the juice, with everything right in them, because that's going to form the main basis of my sauce. Now we'll give that a stir. I'm going to turn the heat up, back up to medium, because I want this to start to come to a simmer, almost to a boil. At this point is a good time to add our sugar. Remember, we want the sugar to help take out some of the acidity in the tomatoes. So add that sugar and stir it right in. So we'll let that warm up. It'll start to just bubble, and then we'll add our green pepper, our mushrooms, and our fresh basil, and we'll have a pasta sauce. Okay, it's been a few more minutes. We're getting a really good consistent bubbling in our sauce. We're almost to the point of boiling, where it starts bubbling again very shortly after you stir it. It's a good time now to add our other vegetables. Our green pepper, our mushrooms, and our fresh basil. Give that all a stir. I'm going to let that come up to just under a boil again and simmer for just a few minutes, and then we'll be ready to eat. Now we're all incorporated. We're getting a good steady boil going to it. I want to turn down the heat. We're on medium now. We're going to turn it down to just below medium-low, because I don't really want to boil this. I want to simmer it so those flavors have a chance to combine. I can tell you, it smells really good in here right now. I'm getting hungry. All right, we've been simmering for about 5 or 6 minutes now. Our sauce is looking really good. I say we eat. I turn off the heat because I don't want to overcook the sauce. Grab my pasta. Just spoon that right over there. Oh yeah. All right, I'm going to grab a fork. So there you have it. A good, nice, fresh pasta sauce with all the stuff in it that I like and none of the things that I don't. Took us maybe 15-20 minutes to put it all together. No extra salt, no funky preservatives, just good, fresh vegetables. Go experiment, have some fun. Food is supposed to be fun. Try putting some different things in, see what you like, see what you don't like. Just remember the basics. Everything that goes into the pot should be fully cooked and or edible as is. All you want to have to do is warm up the sauce. Things like onions and garlic that have sharp flavors or textures, you want to soften in a little bit of olive oil, maybe a little bit of butter, so that they really bring out their flavors and get soft. Fresh herbs go in later, dried herbs go in earlier. Maybe add a little bit of sugar to balance the acidity of the tomatoes, and away you go. So hey, go enjoy. For Theme Cuisine, I'm Rob Pigford, and hey, if I can do it, you can too. Bye-bye. So now that everything's chopped and ready, really, it is, look. Briggs is helping.